Q&A platform session. My name is Star Johnson, and I have my co-host,
Tina Bradford here.
Thank you so much for joining, as we appreciate all of your attendance. Before we begin today, I just want to make sure that you can hear us clearly. We're showing our website that reads the modern mortgage experience, and to the right of your screen, you will locate a webinar control panel. Within that webinar control panel, that's how you and I and Tina will have our dialogue throughout today's presentation. So for those that are on the call right now, let's do a little exercise. Would you please type in that webinar control panel within the question area? Please let me know what enterprise you're tuning in from or what city and state so we can say hello to you. So we'll give you a second to find that webinar control panel. Right in the question feature is where you would type in your answers. We have Ian, and we also have Jason, Angel. Thank you so much for joining. Portland, Oregon, Dallas, Texas, Omaha, and that's Angel is the same person. All right, perfect. Is there anyone else who would like to share? We have a lot of people on the call before we get started. So we're doing something a little bit differently today in our Q&A Thursday platform session. This is the area for you to pose any questions that you may have. So throughout today's presentation, you have questions, please let us know. If there's a certain topic you want to see, please let us know that as well. But we're going to go ahead and launch a poll to see what the public wants to see today. So Tina, would you launch a poll?
Dun, dun, dun.
There you are. So which strategy would you like to review, or which strategy you feel you need the most help on? Would it be fees and product templates, annual mortgage reviews, rent versus own, adding, sharing video, or maybe another topic? Please let us know right there in the webinar control panel. And while the voting is underway, how many of you are currently adding video to your presentations? Let me know right there in the webinar control panel, because not only can you add video from the browser, but one great part is adding video from your mobile device. So you have that versatility to move anywhere in your office. Maybe you have a nice atrium, maybe you have a nice foyer in your office or in the lobby where you can add those amazing videos. Tina was so graciously offered you guys the handouts. So there is the Getting Started handout, which is the MC Essential Guide that you can review to show you how to add video to your presentations, how to share. There's a lot of things that you can do with your mobile. So are we done with the voting?
We do have one person on there that put, I have a great topic, type it in. So if you are that person that has that great topic for us, type it right in there in your question box. Let us know what that topic is, and that way we can make sure and get that covered. But I need someone else to vote, because we are currently tied between the fee template, product templates, and the rent versus own. So there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. And I'm going to share these results with you. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the fee templates and product templates today.
Great. So the fee and product templates definitely help you save time. So when you're building your presentations on the fly, you don't have to itemize your fees one by one, because you can build those fee and product templates prior and incorporate those when you are building in the wizard. So Tina, are we in your account?
We are in my account, and it's all ready for you.
If you guys want to follow along with us and build your fee templates while we are able to show you, please open a blank browser, type in the address edge.mortgagecoach.com. Maybe save this web address to your favorites. So if you're working on a PC, you'll save it to your favorites. If you're working on a Mac, you'll save it to your bookmarks. So Tina's going to log in. And where you will create your fee and product templates, it's not in the wizard or on your dashboard, but in the ribbon above in the menu bar, you would select settings. So in the settings area here, this is where you would build your product and your fee templates. So which one do you want to do first, Tina?
Let's start with fee templates because we can embed those fee templates into the product.
Absolutely. So as you can see here in Tina's account, she has been busy at work. She has her 15-year, 30-year, conventional, down payment assistance, FHA. There's a lot that she has. So you may not have as many, or yours may be blank. So when you want to add a fee template, this is where you will be working with your processor or your closer, where you'll get one of your particular fee sheets. So when you get your fee sheet, this is what you would be building upon. So one good thing to do when it comes to your particular fee templates is maybe for a purchase. So maybe a purchase has, what would you say, 30 fees or so, Tina?
Well, I have one that I brought up right here for you.
Okay, so we have a couple that has several fees. So each purchase may be different based on the state. So all your fees may be different, but let's just say out of 30 fees, 10 or 15 of those fees are always standard for your branch. The origination, processing, underwriting, maybe you're working with a vendor for your title company, you always have their fees the same. So you can build your fee templates for purchase and refi, conventional, FHA, VA, USDA, as many as you need to help you. So I would say maybe your top 5 that you use majority of the time. So you'll have your fee sheet as Tina has displayed for you, and you'll see here whenever you want to build a fee template, you would select new right at the bottom to the right. So when you select new, you would then name your template. So you'll name it whatever you like. If it's state specific, you will find that particular state. If it is available for all states, you will leave it blank.
So I'm going to pretend we're all in Hawaii today.
Aloha. So now you can see we have our product name, Thursday fees, our state is Hawaii, and now there's a blank area. So to add fees, you select add a fee as many times as you need. When you add a fee, you'll see a line item. Now that line item may not identify with your fee sheet. There's 2 ways you can find your particular fee. Our drop down has a wealth of fees that will align your fee worksheet. So you can either scroll down and look for the fee that you want to work with, or you can type the first letter of that line item. It will take you to all the O line item descriptors. So here Tina is looking for the origination charge. Now you have to select the method. So you can either use a percentage or you can use a whole dollar. So depending on your cost sheet, you would select the method or the whole dollar. Next, you will move to paid by. So who's going to pay for these fees? The borrower, lender, seller, or broker. And then next, you have to determine if it's an APR fee or a non-APR fee. If it's an APR fee, you'll check the box just like Tina has done. If it's a non-APR fee, you leave the box unchecked. Now, the second column is add to the loan. So if you want to add any of your fees to the loan throughout your transaction, you would select the second column. Now, PPE, what does that mean? That's prepaid escrow. Okay, Tina, so you're going to add a few fees on here?
Okay, before we do that, I want to make sure that Anita knows where we went. When you first log in, you're on your home page, the settings area right up here, clicking on settings, then you'll come in and I am in the fee template menu. You'll see the menu line right here, right in fee templates. And we did see your other topic. I will go over a couple of things for you on that other topic. Great topic, Anita.
One of the things I want to tell you is a lot of people, while Tina is adding a couple of fees here, a lot of our members are part of an enterprise. So when I say an enterprise, what is an enterprise versus an individual? So an enterprise, you'll know if you're part of an enterprise account. Like say, for example, you're with ABC Mortgage and your membership is being paid for by ABC Mortgage for Mortgage Coach. So you will be one of our enterprise accounts. And a lot of enterprise accounts already have their fee templates. holistically for their organization. So if you look in your drop-down area, you may have your fee templates already. The way Tina is showing you is how to do manual fee templates that will be housed in your individual account. Now, if you're an individual member and you work for DEF Mortgage and you're paying for your particular account on your own every month, this is a way that you can build your fee templates since your company, since you're individual, has not prepared your fee templates for you.
But let's say that now that I've added a few fees, I now run into a fee that I do not have in my system already. Now I need to add a custom fee. So clicking into the Add Custom Fee, which is right beside that Add Fee, I'm going to give it a name. So let me say that tax monitoring was not in there. I'm going to, again, default if it's a prepaid escrow or if it's an APR by clicking or unclicking. So remember, my APR fees might be different than yours because we're in different states. It really depends on your area, so you need to know your own area. Clicking on OK. Now I just need to add the amount here.
One of the things I want to point out to you is whenever you add a custom fee, whenever you disclose or go to add a fee again, that custom fee will always be in your drop down. So if you select add a fee, you no longer have to add a custom fee again. It will already be there in your drop down. So when you add a custom fee, you only have to add it one time and it is added to your list.
Also, now if I accidentally added a fee that is not on my loan, I can simply remove that fee by clicking on the trash can. So let's assume that all the fees are correct at this point.
Can anyone who is following along, can you tell me where the save button is?
That's a great question, Star. I'm high-fiving Star because she asked a great question.
I'm here to make a difference. Can anyone tell me, by looking at the screen here, where is the save button? I want you to really scan the screen because I want you to understand how do you save your fee templates and product templates once you build them.
Great. And while you're doing that, I'm going to explain, Ian, absolutely a fabulous question. Explain the circumstances in which you would add to loan or PPE, prepaid escrow. First off, add to loan. Many companies automatically add to loan if they're doing a refinance. So if you're one of those companies that automatically add to the loan in the refinance, then that is that situation. And then prepaid escrow, I can go in here and add my hazard insurance, which is a prepaid escrow account. So those are in there as well. You can add them in your fee template versus adding them in that monthly fee page. Great question.
Now, one of the things I want to point out to you guys, if you decide to create your fee templates here and you have already incorporated your hazard insurance premium and your tax reserves, and you check this box for PPE, when you go to build your product and you enter in the monthly cost, there's another area where you can pull for reserves. You do not want to double dip. So you either add your reserves in your monthly cost field area or you leave them on your fee sheet. So you don't want to double dip, and we can show you where those areas are. So has anyone told me where the save button is? Button left. Jason Young. So button left. So great.
Bottom left.
Bottom left. Oh, this is save as. So not save, but you're close. So say, for example, this is a fee sheet that Tina likes. This is particular one for Hawaii, and she wants to save this as something else. Maybe she wants to save it as a California property. She can take this exact same template and save it as another. Select OK. But when you're here building your fee templates, you can see here now there's one for California. So she saved this particular template as something else. But there is no save button. So to save your fees that you have just implemented in this area, to save, all you have to do is tab into another tab. Like for example, product templates. So when you go back to fee templates, your information is automatically saved. That's how you save your information, just tabbing into another tab. In essence, that is your save. Thank you for taking a stab at it, Jason. Appreciate you. So now that we have our...
Yes, Ian, it automatically saves.
Yes. So we have our fee template here. Now we have our fees that we want for Hawaii. Now let's do a product template and incorporate both of them. So now here's a product template here. Whenever you want to do a new product, you can see there is a new button. You'll have to name your product. So let's maybe do, okay, 20-year fix. So now Tina's going to insert the information. So upfront premium, that is not required on a conventional, but if you were doing an FHA product, you will let the system know. If you select FHA really quick, Tina, FHA, you'll see a different line item right there at the bottom, upfront MI, where you'll put in your upfront premium. So that is an indicator you want to see whenever you are selecting upfront premium, whether it's FHA, VA, USDA, and single premium. So we'll leave it at none here. And Tina's going to complete the term. So maybe you have to make sure you put the term in months. Her down payment requirement.
She's moving me over to the other part of the screen.
And any days prepaid interest. Perfect. Just want to make sure you don't miss it. Your loan type is fixed. If it's anything other than a fixed, you would have to enter in your ARM details. But in this case, it's going to be a fixed product based on the product name. If there is any interest only months or balloon months, we'll indicate that information. Now the APR costs, we're not going to insert any of the APR costs because we just built a fee template. So let's go into the closing cost details. You see it's blank here. We can pull from our fee template and incorporate those fees.
Which one do you want?
I think I want to stay with the Hawaii theme.
Let's go with Hawaii.
All right, so here's our fees that she just created. Now we're going to apply these fees to this particular product template. So now you can see that the APR, non-APR costs have now been vetted out and they're grayed out. So next we can do our monthly costs. So our monthly costs, we can add this information here if we have an updated evidence of insurance or property taxes. But in this case, what we like to do is use factors. And the reason why we like to use factors is because the factors are pulled from the purchase price. So when you build your presentation, it's going to update the system based on the purchase price that you use. So again, taxes and insurance will be based on your insurance companies and also the state and county. But for training purposes, we'll use 1.25. Select OK. Now down below is where we're not going to select any reserves. And can anyone tell me why? Well, the reason why is because we already incorporated those in our fee template.
No, I deleted them out, hun.
Oh, you deleted them?
I deleted them, so we're going to include them in there.
Oh, you're so quick.
I know.
I thought you left them to show PPE.
That's why I'm typing.
I know. It's Cindy Gonzalez over here. Okay, well now, since our fee template does not have the reserves, and that's even better. So when we go to build, you can see that information in the monthly cost. You're so fast.
See, yeah. We're going to go into the monthly cost just so I can show you. I did delete them out. They're not in the bottom here because my preference is to not include them there just in case. That way I can change and adjust it if I need to change and adjust these when I move into there. It's a little harder for me to dive into, or a little bit more complicated to dive into the actual closing cost sheet for me to change and adjust it. So this is just my preference.
And also that's a good point because when you have your fee templates, you're going to have so many fees. So if you're not making sure you spot check and audit, you can miss that and double dip and your fees are off.
Absolutely.
And your customers are mad at you because I'm paying too much in closing costs, Tina.
But it is only an estimate.
Yes. It is. So now we have our closing cost details, and we've also included our monthly costs with those factors. Now to save this product template, all we have to do is tab into another tab. So we want to tab into product, a report template or image that will save this product for us.
But while we're in fee templates, Jason has a fabulous question. Is there a way to add a lender credit to show the line item instead of negative points? Absolutely. You would want to add that in the fee template here. If I add fee, I can add, and I think I have lender credit in here. But the one thing, if you're using the title lender credit, you must use a negative amount when you add this in. I can change it to the lender now. And then depending on your company, how they reflect, it may be APR or it may not. There is another way to add it as well. There is another fee called contribution. So if I do use the contribution fee, this one is automatically programmed so it subtracts from closing cost. So I could just put the total in there. It's already set on lender. And then again, depending on your company, because companies reflect it differently in the APR or not APR based on your state. So you make sure that you have this checked properly. So that is the way that you can add it into the fee template for you. And then you can add that fee template to the product template that you're working in.
And please be mindful, just as Tina mentioned, the only fee in your drop-down indicator that has logic built in is only the contribution. Anything else does not have logic in, only contribution. Perfect. We're going to leave these or delete them?
I'm going to delete those out of there.
I'm watching this time.
See how fast I am?
You're very fast. So all you had to do to save that product template was tab into another tab, and you have that there. One of the neat things that we also share is if you have your first or your top 5 fee templates or that you use on a regular basis, to always have those fees showing at the top of your stack, you can add an asterisk in front or you can add a number. So depending on what you're comfortable with, some type of character or a number, and that particular fee template or product template will always be housed at the very top of your list. Perfect. So now that we have our fee template incorporated in our product template, let's see this in action. So we have a new family. We have our new family, Zach Chambers. He's come to our office here at ABC Mortgage, and we want to build a presentation for him. So we're going to start in new. We're going to go.
Actually, let me get one that only has a couple products so we can add it to that.
Okay.
Let's go into, I think, Daddy Warbucks. Let's see how many products he has.
What's your customer's first name?
Daddy. No, he has 4. You know what it's from, don't you?
No, enlighten me.
Okay, Annie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it makes sense. I'm not crazy.
Okay. So how many products do you have here?
Here we go.
Okay, so let's say, for example, you have your particular presentation that you want to use, and to save you some time, you want to add a 4th product, or whether this is your first product. So you would select add a product, but when you start a new client and you move through the chevrons, and when you hover over product, it will be your first product. So here's that 20-year fix. You want to name your product. Is this a refinance? No. Are you going to pull from a product template? You will pull from a product template. It will be the product template that Tina just created with you guys. The purchase price. So the purchase price was $520.
It's different prices. This is a move-up buyer.
Okay. So $520 with 20% down, and the rate.
We're just going to use 4%.
Okay, 4%. There's the term that we already have. It is a fixed product. You can see that here is already our closing cost information, the prepaid days of interest we selected. If we click closing cost details, if we go back.
I'm going back. I'm going back.
You're too fast.
I know.
Closing cost details. Here is our particular fee template that we created together. So by having your product and fee templates, it saves you some time. There's only a little bit of editing that you have to do. One of the things that you've seen Tina do was incorporate her interest rate. Now, in your product template, that interest rate can be 4% today, but by the time you use it, it can change. So you can leave that blank. You don't have to fill that in and fill it in when it's needed. So here, you want to say something?
I was going to say absolutely, but I did want to come back to Jason. Jason had to leave the room because we know that we are in the origination. So we're going to go really quick again through the lender credit versus the contribution. So I'm going to show lender credit. When you do the lender credit, you must include a negative sign. So I would include the negative sign here. When I add via contribution, this is the one field where I do not have to add that negative because it's already configured to subtract from the closing cost. So that is the two differences. You can see that the lender paid here. Let's add the lender paid there. And now you can see it in there. So it is already configured on that contribution. So you do not need to add that negative sign with the contribution, but you do with any other credits. Another way you could do lender credits is, I know when I worked with Wells Fargo, we had to show each individual one, which one was the lender credit. So you could go through and you could apply lender over here. So that is the other way that you could do it as well, depending on how your company expects you to show that credit to your clients.
And remember, when you're bringing in your fee template, you can always omit. So you can always omit it. Even though you saved it one way, you can always adjust when you need to. So we only had to enter in our rate, our other information for the term was there, our closing cost is there for us. If we advance forward, we can also see that because we use those factors and it's pulled off the purchase price, we don't have to omit any of that information as well. So you can see a lot of the information is tailored for you. And in the monthly cost at the bottom is where you will pull for the reserve requirements here. So depending on when your loan is closing, and if we go back, Tina, we arrow to the left, and if we see closing cost details, because we pull for our reserves in the monthly cost field, we scroll down. Now you see that PPE box is checked, prepaid escrow, for the 2 months of hazard reserves, 12-month premium, and I believe it was 3 months of taxes that you selected, 3 or 4. You can see that right here on within the closing cost detail screen. Perfect.
The reason why that would be is based on if you have clicked that APR or non-APR button right here when it comes to that contribution. So that would be why it might show a negative if you're using the contribution as it's applied to your APR fees. Now remember, it might be show here, but then you have to make sure that after you make changes in the closing cost detail, you do need to advance forward to save it. So that is when all of the internal calculations are made, is when you do that advance forward.
Perfect. So that's how you would incorporate your fee templates and your product templates while you are building to save you some time. So you can see, technically, you can build a presentation up to 5 or less than 5 minutes, because we only ask you the information that is required to help you build a particular valid total cost analysis for your customers. But having those fee and product templates developed helps you save time, and you don't have to enter that information manually.
So I do want to show, I zeroed these out to show you how it's embedded into the fee template. So it's actually that page that is controlling my fee templates for these 3 factors. So when I, even though I don't have it in my template set up in the closing cost details template, I do have it in the product template embedded in. So that's why it's coming up with fees in my closing cost details. So we want to make sure that you understand. And the reason why I also like using that other page is because it does automatically check for me that is prepaid escrow, and this way I don't forget to check those boxes if I was directly entering it into my closing cost detail fee sheet. So fabulous question. Thank you.
So again, that's how you would bring your product and fee templates to life when you're doing your particular scenarios, depending if it's of a purchase or refinance, depending on your particular product template that you've created, that's how you'll put it in production.
I would suggest not adding any amount in or don't add those fees into the template. So if you're building the template, just do not add the reserved fees. When you go to that monthly fee sheet page, this page right here, this is where I would add those fees in, or if you're building a product template, add it in this section in that product template, and we'll go in there and show you. It's right here at the bottom of the product template. That's where I would add it. I would not personally add it in my closing cost details at all.
And the reason, remember, is because you're going to double dip. So you're going to be calling for reserves in your fee template, and then also when you're building, you're going to be calling for reserves. So then you're going to be double dipping the customer. So it's one or the other. You can do it either way, but it's one or the other, not both. Great.
Okay. Any other questions on fee templates before we move on to Anita's topic? And I'm kind of excited. She does have a great topic because of the market currently the way it is.
Well, I'll let you go, Tina, because you know that is your avenue. Take it away.
Star's checking out. Star worked at the back end of the loan. She knows so much more about compliance than I do. Front end and marketing, that's where I come in because I was an originator, so I do understand that aspect. Yes, we are in a current market that is very unique. Lot of rate shopping we see going on right now. So let me know a little bit in your little question box. Let me know what's going on in your current market area. I know that there's a few different things that we have going on. Okay, so how I would put that in, Robert, and this is a great question. I'm going to go really quick into the fee templates just so I can show how I would put that in. He has a grant that he's using, and my guess is this a grant that disappears in 5 years, so there's no cost at the end of 5 years. Yep. So with this grant, what I would do is I would add a fee. Actually, I would add a custom fee. I might even name it the same name as the grant. So I would put that grant in here. I would not check the APR unless it does reflect in the APR fees, but most of the time, because it is a silent second loan, it is included in those APR fees. And then the default prepaid, I wouldn't check, or I would check, and then clicking on OK. So now we're just going to add that grant right here, minus $750, and there's where you would add it. So that's how you would add that grant to there. You want to add anything, Ms. Starlet?
Yes, and the reason when you do your custom fee, you will add it as a default prepaid because you do not want that grant to be incorporated in your short-term analysis calculations. So if you add it as a default prepaid, it will not interrupt those calculations.
Perfect. Okay, so that is where I would add it. And that's a great question because now with the market being the way it is, and yes, rate shopping, #1 problem right now for most people. Also, low inventory. Low inventory, I've heard a lot. So there's a couple of things. First off, I would be approaching my realtors and I would let them know and already have a great move-up buyer scenario to show them. And I'll show you what I've done with my presentations. When I go into view all and I click on search, I have presentations up here that I can pull out anytime I want to show my realtor. And I know that I'm not divulging any of my clients' personal information. So in this situation, I would be using this move up buyer because this is going to help the realtors not have 1 commission but 2. So they're going to love you for this if you can land anything based on this. But I would tell my realtor, listen, I know that you probably have some clients, you know, 3, 5, 7 years ago that you haven't touched for a while. I'm willing to do the marketing for you. If you give me those names, I'll co-market. We'll show them a move-up buyer presentation. And then this way, if nothing else, you and the realtor are getting in front of the client. Now, during this presentation, I would make sure that I included at the end of the presentation, if you have anyone that you know that might benefit with a total cost analysis, please go ahead and refer those over to myself or my realtor and their name. So that's one technique I would be using, and that's to approach the realtor. Now, the rate shopping. Now, this is interesting, and I'm actually going to pull over my phone. I haven't pulled it up today. But the rate shopping, I would be using RateWatch. If you're being rate shopped a lot, and here it is. So I'm going to pull the phone up and show you how I'm going to position it. And it didn't pop up. It's thinking still. There we go. It's okay, Star. You're not going to be on TV. I won't show you. And let me make sure that it floats on top. We don't want to lose it. There we go. Now I can go to the blank screen behind it. So I would be showing the RateWatch if I'm being shopped a lot. And this is why. When I go into RateWatch, I am able to show my clients this instead of talking about the actual rates that are going on right now. So if someone approaches me, such as Star asked me the #1 question that's asked to mortgage lenders.
Hey, Tina, what are the rates?
That's a great question, Star. Let me tell you about the rates. Since the election, rates have been going up and down. They are going crazy, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of information out there right now.
I have a lot on the news and Money Talks.
Yeah, and you also are seeing a lot of really low interest rates, huh?
I am.
Well, what you need to remember is that with those rates, first off, it's on the perfect scenario. So these are clients that have no issues. They are the perfect scenario client. The second information you need to look at is one that's clipping through really fast. Try to see when those dates were published, because more likely those dates were published in the past.
Those are the fine print.
That's the fine print, exactly. Now what I want to show you is I want to show you what I have on my phone. I have RateWatch on my phone, and it tracks the rates every 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, I'm seeing what's going on. I'm going to click into menu, click on my day watch, turn it sideways, and put it in Star's face. So these are the rates today. You can see even today, it's been very volatile. The bond market is up and down, and that's what drives the rates.
Hey, what is that gold diamond right there?
That gold diamond, great question. That is actually where there has been a dramatic increase or decrease in the rates just for today. So you can see it's a volatile market right now. Now what I can do for you is I know that it's important to lock it when it's as low as possible, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I want to save you money just like you want to save yourself money. So we're going to track these every single day. And if you'd like, I can share this with you. And every day I can send you a picture of the RateWatch, and that way you can see what's going on. Or if there's a dramatic change, I can let you know, and that way we can lock it before the rates change, go up, or go down in such a dramatic form.
That's good, because my neighbor's always talking about the rate that they're doing. They're in a transaction right now.
Yeah, well, hopefully they got a great rate, and next time you should send them over to me because I have this on my phone.
I will.
So you can see how I have moved it totally around what my rates are today into a conversation about RateWatch and how we can drive and watch these rates based on the RateWatch. Not only do clients like this, but I am shopping for a home. And the other day I went out and went to some open houses to look at them. And I showed the realtor while I was there my RateWatch on my phone. And they were kind of surprised. First off, they've never seen it, which was great for me if I was still a loan officer. But because I'm now working training, I couldn't do anything with it. But what I did do is I told them I would get a loan officer that is working with Mortgage Coach to give them a call. So if you are in Southern California and you want that referral, go ahead and drop it in the question box, because I need a referral for a loan officer in Southern California for these realtors. So if you're here, local.
What a way to network, Tina.
I know, that's what I do. But they wanted to have the ability to have it on their own phone, and I told them they can't download it themselves but they can be sent the information. And Ian, yeah, a lot of times, and I'll tell you this straight up, even though you have your California license, they want to make sure that it's someone local. That way they can work open houses and stuff with them. So I've worked this market. They're pretty tough about using someone out of state.
One of the things I want to point out on the day watch, so how Tina mentioned it's a volatile market. Anytime you see those yellow diamonds, that means that we were either up or down more than 15 basis points. So in the alerts, you will get those alerts on your Rate Watch notification tool. Whenever we're up or down more than 15 basis points, those are those yellow diamond indicators.
Beautiful. So any other questions right now or anything else that we can possibly help you with?
This has been great.
I know. I love when they're interactive with us.
I like role playing with you. Lender to buyer. So any other questions on the fee templates, on Rate Watch, on product templates, how to see it in action? What are your questions? Let's hear from the public.
Crickets, crickets, crickets. Okay, looks like we have answered your questions for today. We look forward to seeing you here next week. If you have a great topic like Anita did, bring that topic with us. Here we go. So how do you use video in presenting an analysis? You want to be on video today, Star?
No.
Well, I'll show you really quick the video. And yes, absolutely, Anita, learn RateWatch. The great thing about RateWatch, though, is you don't have to be a professional when you're using RateWatch in understanding the dynamics of how it's calculated. What you need to really know is if you see red, rates are probably going to increase. If you see green, there's a chance that they might decrease. There's also a section on here. I was going to go into the lender section, but we can do the commentary first. The commentary section, we have a couple of experts in there. We have Dan and Neil. Now, what I'll tell you is, being someone that probably is not as financially in-depth, Dan is that person you want to go to. He writes more in layman terms. Now, if you are a financial guru, you want to go into Neil's because Neil's goes through every single market part. So he really dives into all the markets. Now, there is another section, the lender's barometer. This is great because it tells you what's going on in the market as far as your competitors. We track 133 lenders, and out of those lenders, 26 of them have made better pricing today on an average of almost 0.25%, and 18 of them have slightly increased their pricing to worsening pricing. So there is a way that you can track that. We will show you where you can find a video for it. So we do have a video on RateWatch, and I'll show you where to do that. But first, let's go into really quick how to use the video for Ian. You're going to go into the mortgage coach, and we always laugh when it comes to video because Star and I throw each other on under the bus, and we're always like, oh, and Star loves to be on camera. She's laughing. So I'm going to go ahead and log in on my phone, and I'm going to show you video on the phone, Ian, because most of the time the quality on the phone is much better than the quality on your computer. But there's also the advantage of being able to walk around. So maybe your office is full of books, clutter, whatever, not the best place to do it. You might have a beautiful foyer, you might have a nice place outside, so you can take your phone out there and record it from there. I'm going to go into client, and let's say I'm going to use Tommy client, and I need to send him a video. So I'm going my normal speedy self. I'm going to click on Tommy, then I'm going to click on the analysis, so total cost analysis, and you can see that second one right there is video. Clicking on video, this only comes up because I'm hardwired to the computer. We got to make ourselves beautiful. Clicking on camera, and here we are. So this is the video screen that comes up. There is a counter at the top right up here. There's Star. Hi. And then you're going to click on the little red button. it's going to start doing your video. What you want to do is you want to mention your client's name at the beginning or the end or both. You want to mention your realtor or financial advisor, anyone you're working with. You want to give them that little stab, make sure that they're included. Make sure you don't have anything distracting, crazy in your background. Keep it between 2 to 3 minutes maximum. You don't need to go through the whole report. Give them an overview. For example, we're doing refinance right now is our main topic. And on a refinance, I'll say, hey, I went through that refinance that we were looking at, and we do have reinvestment opportunity. So if you go in, you can look that refinance and you can see I'm saving you this much money each month. And if you click on that more information button, and you see I talk with my hands, that more information button up there in the summary area, there's a tab up there called reinvestment. Go ahead and click on that tab because this is going to show you the different suggestions I have for refinancing. I really look forward to you looking over this, going over the numbers with you and anyone else helping you make these decisions. Once you're complete with that, give me a call. Now, if I don't hear back from you within 2 days, I'm going to reach out to you because I want to make sure your questions are all answered. So again, thank you, my name or her name or his name, whoever it is. Thank you for your time. I look forward to working with you. But hey, one more thing. If you have someone else that you have knowing they're going to buy or maybe they need to refinance, I would love to work with them. Please give me their name or have them reach out to me as soon as possible. Thanks for your time again. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye. So then it clicks on, not too bad. It's always the ugliest picture here. We laugh so much. And then you're going to download. You'll see it downloading on there. Once it's done downloading, you'll click on done. And it brings you back to this screen. So the question now is, how do I send it over to Tommy? Well, I'm going to click on Tommy, and I'm going to click on Total Cost Analysis. Upper right-hand corner, you see that piece of paper shooting out? That is my send button. Now, if I'm on an Android, it is the less than button. Has 3 dots, and it looks like the less than, but it's located in the same spot. Clicking on there, clicking on there. Now I can email it or text it to them. Now remember, please stay in compliance with your company. If you're not allowed to text, please don't use the text function and use that email function because it is conveniently located on your phone as well. So any last questions before we wrap this up?
And one additional caveat, in the webinar control panel, we provided you with a quick start guide, how to add video. So check out pages 35 through 38. It also has that checklist review. So what are some of the things you need to say, just like Tina mentioned. You don't have to use it holy grail, but it's just some best practices that you can use, and also walks you through the steps, step by step, how to add video using your mobile devices.
And Anita said, how can I find help on RateWatch? Clicking into that help button takes you to the support site. Once you're in here, you can type in rate and it pops up. There is the quick setup guide as well as information on here. Now let's say you're hardcore like me, you like to go in deep with things. That graph that you see on there is called a candlestick graph. If you type in candlestick and you have to push enter, for some reason it doesn't pop up here, you can see right here there is information on the candlestick chart and how to read it. So this is, and I'm warning you, if you are not into this information, this is going to be a very hard read for you. So only go in here to read on the candlestick if you really, really want to know about that information.
And it's only a quick tutorial for 10 minutes. So if you can carve out 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes worth it.
And the last thing, we do have our trainings. We'd love to see you next week on our Thursday call. Bring your topics with you. And if you're unavailable then, but you need other training, we do have our Mortgage Coach University going on. 101 classes are more that setup, getting ready, making sure that you can use it. 102 has more with the strategy. So definitely the strategy is in there. The chat box is a box that we are able to send group messages out to you. So you really can't chat back and forth with other people within the Go-To Women webinar, but this is a great question. You are only able to send us messages through the question, and then if we have something we want to share with you, that is more what that chat box is used for.
It's more for private messaging. So instead of the group being able to see everything, it's more of a private message.
So fabulous. Thank you guys for your time. We appreciate it. We love the interaction. We hope to see you again next week.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.